Hey there and welcome into this lesson. What I'd like to teach you today whilst growing to bring money into the business really fast. And that's the power of other Facebook groups. So let's dive in. The first thing we need to do when engaging in other people's communities is to find these Facebook groups. We're wanting to find like-minded or complementary groups where your market are already hanging out. They need to be free though, right? Like this strategy, it just doesn't work in paid groups. Ones where members pay some kind of membership, some kind of fee to be a part of. Private groups opposed to public groups, they tend to be high quality members. That's because people that are really serious about solving problems and sharing their problems, they tend to be in groups that are private. They just feel like they're a bit more of a safe space, they're a bit more exclusive, and they feel really intimate for them. So you're looking for private groups that are free. We like to aim to be in about 10 groups or so at any one given time. Any more and it's a little bit hard to track, and any less, you feel like you're putting a little bit too much pressure on relying on these groups. Now, when you're inside the groups, it's really important to note that we are not selling in them, okay? We're not sending people to our sales pages or to our order form or linking them to some lead magnet or any of that, right? What we're doing is we're starting to build a relationship with them. We're starting to build that rapport. We're starting to get them to know, like, and trust us. This is super important to note because nobody likes a sleazy salesperson, am I right? And you probably get kicked out of that group pretty quickly if you're obviously selling. But you can build relationships. There's nowhere in the house rules in any of these groups that state you can't build a relationship. So it's really important that that's what we're focusing on. Not the sales, that comes later. We're focusing on building those real, authentic relationships. So how do we do that? It's through how we engage in these groups. All I'm asking is for you to be a real, genuine human being who's there to help, all right? Because you have a genius zone. You have this gift to help people, to help all of these people inside these groups that you have chosen. And those people inside that group, they need your help. So basically, we're starting conversations with people. And once we've built this relationship, we've started to help this member, we can transition that conversation into a private conversation where we can help them more if they're a really good fit and turn them into a customer. Okay, that sounds easy, right? And it should be. We converse in real conversations in our day-to-day, everyday life. And that's what I want you to do inside these groups as well. But I get it, it can be really hard to do that behind your computer, right? So I'm gonna give you a bit of a structure, a strategy, basically the exact process for you to follow so that it's easy to do, okay? A bit of a plan of attack on how I approach having these conversations inside other people's Facebook groups. So you're not just talking all of that fluff and nonsense, all of that stuff that doesn't actually get you anywhere. But these conversations are going to be super profitable without coming across as salesy. The perfect balance, right? Does that sound good? So your first aim is to find people inside these groups who have a problem that your program is going to solve. I want you to think about your signature program. Maybe you've got a number of programs, but let's take that one program that is going to be making you the most money, okay? And you're only going to be engaging in conversations with people who have the problem that this program offers a solution for. Because we don't want to waste our time having conversations with people who just won't be a good fit. So if I help people, let's say, build courses, because that's what we do, I'm not going to answer questions about social media marketing, okay? We need to keep it in line with what we have to offer. You probably don't want any more Facebook friends, am I right? But what you do want are more paying clients. So make sure you're finding questions inside these Facebook groups where people are truly struggling. And I know this sounds really obvious, but what you're wanting to do is answer their question. Like, it's as simple as that. Start having conversations with them and start helping them out. Okay, I have this tracking spreadsheet, which I'm gonna share with you. I'll link it just below this video. And once we start having these conversations, we need to track if they're actually working and track which groups are providing with the highest quality leads. Now, I know you're probably thinking this is going to eat up so much time, but it doesn't have to. In fact, I don't want you to spend any more than 30 minutes inside these groups any day. Or actually, from Monday to Friday. So just business days, okay? And that's just to start with. Furthermore, there is going to be so much in all of these tasks that you can outsource, which I'll outline in the worksheet below here as well. So you'll know exactly what you need to do and what somebody else can do, which will free you up for so much more important things that you can do in your business. So in that 30 minutes that you're spending in the Facebook groups, you're going to be scrolling through all of the groups. So the 10 groups that you've chosen, right? And you're going to answer all of the questions that are relevant to your program. The ones that you can actually help solve a solution to somebody that's in line with your business and your program, okay? Usually I can answer maybe 3 questions per group. So that's 30 questions all up. That's what you're aiming for. We're not giving them free coaching, none of that, okay? I don't want you to give them like a super long answer that takes you 30 minutes to write one response, okay? No detailed responses there. We're just going to leave a really quick, practical, and helpful answer that's specific to their question, okay? Something that is really valuable to them and gives them a little bit of a taste of success and that confidence boost. You don't need to go into these groups and spend hours coaching these people for free, okay? So just focus on that really specific, helpful tip. So aim for 30 minutes a day, Monday to Friday. Doesn't need to be long. They should only take about 30 seconds to answer, okay? And you'll get into a bit of a rhythm with it. Like you'll get into that kind of pattern that you'll be able to jump on, log in, spend 30 seconds, and then move on to the next. It gets pretty quick. So you're being really specific with answering questions that lead into your program. We're answering questions as quickly as possible, and we're providing one very helpful tip, but not going into a super detailed coaching response. Now, what we're looking for next is a response from the member inside the Facebook group. If you've helped somebody with a question and they don't respond, they're not an ideal client, okay? Either they're just not coachable and not a great fit for the program, or maybe their problem just isn't big enough for them to want to solve right now. So if they don't respond, just leave it. Don't worry, there's so many other people you can help. However, if they do respond, this is what we're looking for. This is gold, okay? If they respond saying, thank you, that was so helpful, fantastic. That's still a lead for you. That's still a relationship that's starting to grow and starting to happen. But the ones that we love, the ones that we're focusing on, are when they ask a follow-up question. At that point, they are prime for conversational marketing. Remember, we aren't going to sell into the group right then and there. That is not the goal. The goal in other people's groups is to start a relationship inside them, okay? Now, when they respond, either with a thank you or a follow-up question, that is the point where we move that conversation into a private message. All you need to do is hover over their name, click message, and pull them across into a private chat. And you can add them as a friend as well if you're wanting to build that business Facebook community. But the private message flow is where we start the conversational marketing, where we continue that message flow and continue to build that relationship. You remember all of this from the previous lesson. So if you do need a refresher, make sure you jump back in there and see our message flow on how to convert these conversations into consult calls, which will turn into a sale. Now, the last thing we need to do is to make sure that we are still tracking these results. This is something that is key to measuring the success of conversational marketing, and it's something that you can either do yourself or save the time and outsource it. So I've provided you with a link to the exact spreadsheet that we use, and I encourage you to make a copy. So just click File, Create Copy, and then use the exact format we do, as it's super simple and easy to use. Then all you need to do is follow through from left to right and add in the metrics as the spreadsheet suggests. You'll be able to track all the things like when you join the group, you'll be able to link in the group, add the group name, pop in all of the friend requests you've sent, the private messages you've sent, the consults booked, and the sales generated. This just helps us indicate which groups are worth staying in, okay? Which ones are worth being a part of. And it allows us to see the value of conversational marketing and the conversion of sales. So how does that sound? We have gone through how to find your groups, okay? So you've got your 10 groups that you're going to start with. We've gone through how to strategically engage in these groups and how to track the conversations so you can see which groups are worth being a part of and staying in. Gosh, we have covered a lot. Facebook groups are an amazing free traffic strategy and one that every female entrepreneur should be tapping into. But we need to make sure that we aren't getting swallowed up in any unnecessary time spent on social media. I'll see you in the next lesson, lovely.